Hey, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I was just drinking my thermos of wine across the room. I was listening to this podcast the other night, and these two guys watched statistically the top 500 movies ever made, according to the internet, up until 2019, and your voice sounded very familiar. Are you one of the co-hosts?
Yes, I am one of the co-hosts, and your voice sounds weirdly familiar. I was trying to place it.
I'm the other co-host of the show. I'm Jake Magruder.
Did you know that the show is now being sponsored by the Arrow?
The Arrow Network?
The Arrow Network.
What are the chances that we would run into each other at this fancy restaurant?
I'm drinking wine. This is the first time I've ever drank wine before.
Me too, out of a thermos.
Yes, the thermos. I saw it over there. That keeps it. I'm sure it keeps it so cold or room temperature or whatever you're trying to do.
It's warm, actually. But I actually have to go, but I'll catch you on, I guess, when we record the show.
Yeah, we'll be talking about movies. Catch it at 8, 9 Central.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
The Top 500 Podcasts with Jonathan and Jake, brought to you by the Arrow Podcast Network.
Hello everyone, welcome back again to Back Off Track. I am Nathaniel Henley, and I'm with my friend and host.
It is me, Mitchell Rousseau.
Yes, he is the host, and I am the most. Today we've got a pretty good show planned. We are going to talk about, as always, one kind of weird thing that we know a lot about, and we'll probably get off track talking about who knows what in the process, but that's part of the fun of it.
You think this is a podcast. This is just us talking.
Yes.
So we can't talk in class.
Literally, the microphones are invisible right now. We don't even know. We're just talking.
Yeah,
Is there anyone even in this room? We're going to discuss some little kind of funny and quirky stuff that might make you say, huh, and use on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire board game someday.
Or just tell to your parents and make them think, oh, wow, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Go back to your room.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of very relevant to what I'm about to talk about. So truly my probably biggest passion.
I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what I'm kind of known for at this point, even by people that I don't live with, like you. I'm a pretty, I guess you say, a big Daft Punk head.
I think anytime I talk about you to my friends, like, oh yeah, I'm recording a podcast with my friend Nathaniel. It's like, oh yeah,
the Daft Punk guy.
It's like, yeah, no, he likes Daft Punk, and it was like, okay, that's about it.
Follow-up question: what's Daft Punk?
Don't worry about it.
Well, the thing is, it's not exclusively Daft Punk. That's just always the most accessible thing.
Oh yeah, this is Nathaniel. He likes Daft Punk.
Yeah, exactly. My dream goal in life is for someone to add me as a contact in their phone and label it as Daft Punk Man, without me having to tell them to. So if you do that now, it doesn't count. But,
oh man.
Yeah. So basically, it's not just I hate that using the term electronic music.
Because they're more they're funky.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're specifically French house.
Yeah.
Is their specific niche field, which is a subcategory of electronic. But whenever you say electronic, people always think of Skrillex and Deadmau5 and all these kind of in the same way. If I say country music, you probably think of the most generic, and rightfully so to some extent.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to it that people just don't know about it and all. And no one wants to hear one guy talk about his music taste for 10 minutes.
I'm going to do the same thing right after you.
My turn next.
Oh yeah, I'm going to talk about my obscure band ELO.
Oh boy. But my whole thing is just in the actual French house world, there's a lot of weird things that is not done the same way as how we do things in America or so. So for instance, here it's kind of more common to for artists to kind of get into beef with each other, and he stole my song, he sampled my this, or whatever.
Right.
Around in France, it is literally so commonplace for everyone to just be friends. It's not like you have competitors. You are literally just good friends with them, and so they literally just kind of build up this monopoly of that own type of music. And they make it into where they can normally you can't play someone else's song at a live venue, that sort of thing. But if they're your friend and if they were to find out about hey, they played your song, it's yeah, I know, I let them. So that's literally how they build their whole industry is by just everyone just kind of does their own thing. And I absolutely love it because it for one, it's very interesting to see oh, I listen to this guy. Whoa, and he's featuring this guy. And this other guy that I listen to is remixing it. And on top of that, later, several years down the line, this new guy will remix them. And I listen to all of them.
Right.
And so, those great, collaborations of all time.
Yeah.
The Kanye West and who was it? A Little Pump.
I have no idea.
I love it. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the one that was memed on real hard.
Yeah.
It's on that caliber, but for me, a person who listens to specifically French house music. And the thing is, a lot of it's in English, too.
Yeah.
So if you're turned off by the idea of, oh, well, I don't speak French, that's okay. They speak English, too.
Mm-hmm.
Not always the best, but the point is it's, above all else, France is known for, the disco influence, and they're not as good at rock or anything like that. And I think it's really cool that in the year 2021, they can be kind of evolving that early days of disco into what they have now. And I really do think that more artists from the U.S. should be using them as their background things. So many times I'll hear a modern song and think oh, what is this beat? Why didn't you put any emphasis, the lyrics may be good, but why didn't you put any emphasis on, the kind of, backtrack of it? And
right.
To me, that's a bit of a shame, because I've heard just some of the most astounding instrumental, just period, but no one ever talks about them because they just think, oh, those French robot guys.
Yeah, no. One of my ex-girlfriends, she thought, what was it? I played Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh wow, this is that Kanye song."
She
thought it was the other way around, and I was like, yeah, no, Kanye got off the song.
They copied Kanye for this one.
And what do you mean? This is Kanye. No, this came first. And it's
right.
What?
Yeah. It's,
this is the original, buddy.
Yeah, I got in an argument with someone over once, and I think you forgot I'm kind of the Daftologist of the group, and I was like, no, I promise you, Kanye West took the beat of, and I mean the whole purpose of the song of Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger by Daft Punk, and then made it into his song that, of course, was infinitely more popular.
Yeah.
And a lot of people confuse that because of, I mean, that's a common misconception, but even to put into terms that people will understand even more so. So there's a lot of artists that you will definitely recognize that have collaborated with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
The Weeknd, who did Starboy with Daft Punk, and Gasafelstein and all of them. Pharrell, he loves to collaborate with them.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, the Creator, he's big friends with that whole scene. And I just really think that those guys are with it. They get it that hey, this is even, this is something you're going to want to jump on. Even as of recent, Mac DeMarco, who's a big kind of indie guy right now, he's even tapping into that whole scene where he's like, I'll do the singing, you guys just do your thing, which is the instrumental. Mm-hmm. And it works phenomenally. It gets me into, I'd never listened to a Mac DeMarco song prior to what he did on the one I was thinking of. And now I'm like, hey, I feel like I could actually start to listen to his stuff too. Mm-hmm. And I just really think that's such a genius way to do it. And I'm kind of a weirdo in the sense that I will watch videos of them performing live, which that's not weird now that I say it. But I'll watch them perform live and think I'll see people in the background of it that aren't performing but are just friends there, and they're all the same guys that you would go to see normally.
Right.
It's they literally all travel as a big unanimous group. There's no drama, there's no beef, because they all just get along and just are hey, let's just do what we love. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wish that was kind of the more American attitude.
Yeah. It just kind of, I don't know. I don't really like the newer. I hate to be the guy ooh, I was born in the wrong generation.
Right. Yeah.
But I just don't really like the newer music that comes out.
That's
there's
fair.
some what's it? The new Weeknd song.
Oh, Blinding Lights.
Yes, that. I mean, everybody loves that song.
Right.
That song's good.
Yeah.
There's not bad. Not everything is bad. Just most of the stuff. I'm not into rap.
Right.
I really just don't like it. I just think it's repetitive.
I think it can work if it has for me at least.
Yes.
If it has the right instrumental.
Yes.
That is how you want to speak to my heart. Start playing something that gets me in beyond the lyrics,
mm-hmm.
that sort of thing.
I'm okay with Post Malone because he incorporates music and stuff with it, and he does lyrics and all that. So I'm okay with Post Malone. I don't listen to Post Malone, but Circles is a good song.
Yeah.
It's I'm not like I think rap is very interesting. Like whenever like Eminem, I don't listen to Eminem, but I can admit that it's pretty impressive of the things that he's done with it.
Well, and even then, there's like a certain level of like I appreciate the skill, even though I personally don't want to listen to this.
Like that's how I am. Like and I don't really like.
By the way, if we're clowning on anyone's favorite artist here, we're so sorry. Please don't get it.
Listen to what you want to listen to. I don't really care. I just don't care for it. Like country, I'm just not a fan.
Unless you listen to country or opera, then get off this podcast.
Yeah, he is for the place for you, bud.
Yeah, sorry. But like, what was it? There's all sorts of like, so you know the movie Uncut Gems.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who did the soundtrack to that recently collaborated with The Weeknd.
Oh.
And he has a new album out. It's called, the guy's like name is Onitrix Point Never. It's not his name, but it's his code name.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny that Weeknd stuff blows up, like in views and such, and yet like there is practically any views on this song featuring The Weeknd like purely, and yet I think it's some of his best vocal work ever.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so funny that like if The Weeknd had published it, it'd be crazy big. But because Onitrix does, then it just doesn't get as many views.
I actually originally thought The Weeknd was a group of people.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was one guy. I liked the music, but I didn't realize it was. I thought it was just like a band,
right?
Because it sounds like The Weeknd. It just sounds like a band name, but
you're probably thinking of the Vampire Weekend.
Yeah, maybe.
My dad the other day told me like he was just going through the radio and he was tuning through them. And Blinding Lights came on, and he goes, he's like, I like this song, all right, but you ever see what the guy looks like that sings this? I was like, yeah. And he goes, this is a funny-looking dude. And I was like, yeah, I guess
Thanks,
so.
Dad.
Well, what's even crazy, that was before, have you seen the most recent, like, controversy? Like, he has a music video where he has a bunch of prosthetics on, and he looks like, I don't even know what, it just looks
people have been comparing
scary.
it to, like, the handsome Squidward thing.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for him.
No, well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's what he was going for. He wanted it to be shocking and that sort of thing. But, yeah, I just I was like, Dad, I don't need your commentary on The Weeknd. And I had to remind him, by the way, this guy's very with it with, like, Daft Punk and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the funny thing there with confusing up, who did what. I was once texting this girl in high school, right? And she said, I said something about, like, how much I love Daft Punk. And she said, oh, I like Daft Punk. He's pretty cool. And I just blocked her. I was pretty upset about it. I just thought like that's not. No, I didn't actually block her, but I let her know of like it's two people, and she was actually more mad at me.
I just imagine like the text of like, oh yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah,
hello. Like just the next one is a hello.
Yeah, it's the classic. Oh, I love Metroid. He's so cool.
God,
Or no, Legend of Zelda. Oh, I love playing as Zelda.
I hate that. I hate that.
So
I don't even play Metroid, but I have encountered people who are like, oh, I like this guy. He seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who's Samus? Like, oh, that's such a cool name. I'm sure he's cool. And then it'll be Brawl, and then they'll use a Final Smash. It's like, wait, it's a girl?
The only thing that I ever had similar to that was I had this one book in like first grade from like the book fair. And I was like, how to draw Nintendo characters. And on the back of it...
I think I had the same thing. Yeah.
And on the back of it, it said how to draw and named off all these heroes, right? And then one of it said Samus, Aaron, which is just Samus's last name.
Yeah.
But it listed off as if it was two people. And I was like, who's Aaron? And so I literally checked the whole thing like 8 times. I was like, there's no Aaron in this.
Yeah, I think that book... Because she was in it. Like, there was like Mario, Luigi, Bowser... But when she was in it, I was looking at, like, the description of her, and I read that it said she, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, that makes that's just, whoa.
I remember when the Super Metroid came out on the SNES, that was a big shocker to people, was that the whole time you've been playing as a girl.
Yeah.
And I feel like nowadays, like, it's not that big of a deal. It's like, no, that's awesome. That's, you know, go for it.
Or people freak out about Bayonetta, or that, like, it's very, like, seductive, or...
Yeah.
And I get where they're coming from, but it's... Like, I think the main person on Bayonetta was a girl. Or the person who designed Bayonetta was a girl.
Right, yeah.
But
I was going to say Bayonetta is a girl, yeah.
Not even that. I just think that Bayonetta is like a cool character, and the game is super fun. I'm still part of those people who are anxiously waiting on Bayonetta 3, which is probably never going to come out.
Right, yeah.
But
I really think it depends all on the tone. Like, I think it's most off-putting when, like, for instance, in what was it, The Killing Joke, the Batman movie, they finally made it to a movie, but the first third of it has like relations between Batman and Batgirl, a huge age gap, and it's just not. It's uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and it's not like properly like it doesn't feel appropriate at all. And I think that's kind of the same logic people like probably had at the time, was just like, boo, I don't like this girl because she makes me feel weird, that sort of thing. But no, I'm totally down for I think Bayonetta's cool. And,
Yeah.
And I know in Smash Wii U, she's very overpowered.
Oh, no one liked Bayonetta. I hated Bayonetta.
Yeah.
I still hate Bayonetta.
Oh, even in Ultimate?
In Ultimate, she's nerfed more, but she's still terrible. It's like she does the same thing every time. You can't move. It's, me being a little Game & Watch main, it's like I can't really do anything about it, or at least if I can, I don't know how.
Right.
You know, I'm too light.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's whatever. I have to hide my real main because people get angry when I say I'm a Rob main.
Oh yeah, they'll never know now.
Nobody it doesn't matter now. But I usually bring up Game & Watch first and then slide in the Rob because nobody likes Rob.
I'm a villager main myself, and part of that is funny because I'm a big Animal Crossing head, but also I really love playing a villager. I always have.
It's a fun character.
It is, but of course it's probably best not to go into Smash because I have some very unpopular Smash opinions. That's like on a heated episode.
Ooh.
Not this one. We're not ready yet. We don't want it canceled just yet.
Oh man, I can't wait for that episode.
Oh, it's gonna be a battle to say the least. But yeah. So what was the other thing you were going to your topic?
Yeah, mine. Well, you were talking about Daft Punk. I'm like an ELO fan.
Right. Electric Light Orchestra.
Yeah, Electric Light Orchestra. People don't really listen to them, or they'll listen to, like, oh, Mr. Blue Sky, that song's cool, or Turn to Stone. Mm-hmm. Like, those are pretty much the only songs. There's only, like, a handful of songs that they're known for, but they have so many incredible songs. Like, Tightrope is such a good song, and then they have On the Run. It's just so, and their music is so interesting, because their idea was trying to be the next Beatles.
Oh,
okay. Because the Beatles innovated music so much, they want to do the same thing, so they put an entire light orchestra in their band. That's what the name comes from, because people think, oh, electric and light. A light orchestra is just a small orchestra, so they just put electric light orchestra.
Nice.
But there's just so many things with them, so many interesting things, like the whole talk box thing. They started
do
using
that?
Yeah, they in Mr. Blue Sky, they have, like, I don't think it's a talk box, but it's something similar. Mm-hmm. It's like a voice thing, but it's really, really interesting, and they use that for a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And they made that kind of their thing. But nobody knows ELO. I'm like the only one, like, my friend or my roommate, he listens to ELO, but it's like any other, like, if I'm, like, hanging out with a girl or something and I'll listen to music, like, oh, what's this? Like, this is ELO. And, like, what's that mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to go into it. Like,
yeah, don't get me started.
Like, you're not going to... It's like... And once people listen to it, they'll like it. It's just... Nobody knows ELO. Like, I'm the only... Like, I hate to be like I'm the only one who likes it. But... People like... Because the main singer, or the lead guitarist, Jeff Lynne, he's actually good friends with Paul McCartney.
Oh, yeah.
And to a point where he did a live show, because he's still touring right now with his own new band, like Jeff Lynne's ELO, because he's still kicking and sounds good. He's like 70 years old and he still sounds like he used to, which is incredible. Right. But there's a recording of a show that he did where he was singing, I think it was Evil Woman, but there's a clip of Paul McCartney in the crowd, and he's like singing along, dancing to it, and the camera's on him. Mm-hmm. He notices that the camera's on him. He's like, "Oh, get off me! Go look at them! Like, don't focus on me, focus on them! Like, I'm just here to enjoy it." It's so interesting to see, like, because they're well respected within like that community, but they're just so. Because my theory is they were kind of around the time of Queen.
Yeah, I think.
Because they were like
got a little overshadowed.
Yeah, they were like late 70s, early 80s, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You're the expert.
I'm not an expert. So I'm bad on dates. But
I have this question for you: would you consider ELO to be more of your like actual favorite, or like is it just what you tell people in hopes that they are like, oh, I know what that is?
No, that is my complete favorite band of all time.
See, because I am known as like the Daft Punk dude, and I do like Daft Punk. That is no question. I have their posters and everything up on my wall and everything. But I have other artists that I more specifically would list as my favorite. and it's just Daft Punk is kind of the best way I've heard it described is I have a friend that's really into K-pop, and like, but she like the way she describes it to people is just she just says, "Oh, I just like BTS." Now she does like BTS, but there's other ones that she likes way more. That it's just everyone knows BTS is the whole point. And so I was curious if that's how yours worked. But
no.
If that's your actual favorite, I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah, it's because I love orchestral stuff, like strings and all that stuff. You know, call me a band nerd, but I just really like just instrumental stuff, like video game music. It's some of the best music I've ever heard, just because it's tied to a feeling.
Yeah,
you know, so it hits harder.
Sure.
But I usually if someone like asks me like, or if I have to play something for someone, I'll just play like Queen or ABBA.
Yeah,
everybody likes those bands and they know them.
You know, my last name's Henley, and so I constantly get asked, you know, are you related to Don Henley? And I'm like, no, I wish, because I get royalties or something.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of funny that like my mom loves, you know, that kind of era of stuff. I'm pretty sure she's a big ABBA head, and it's just like. But if I show her anything new, kind of that I like, that's in the same vein, like literally inspired by that, she just instantly like doesn't pay attention. She says no, that's all good. I remember one time I bought a CD and it was playing in the car from like some record store that we were heading back from, and I almost left the car without it. And she said, "Don't forget your CD." And she's like, "I certainly don't want it." And I was like, "Dang, Mom, all right." Gosh, it was just. I mean, given it wasn't like I had chosen that specifically for her to listen to or anything, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure all my friends know that I listen to ELO way too much. But I think at some point I was like, "Oh, can I have the aux?" It's like, "Here," my roommate is like, "Here, play your stupid ELO song."
Yeah, it's
like,
embarrassing
you know me
when they
so
do that.
well.
It's like, well, no, now I'm not gonna.
Like, fine, I'll just play something else for you.
Yeah, or do what my friends do, which is just do not pass the aux.
Oh yeah,
and,
no, I
let
usually
it be
don't get
strictly
the aux.
whatever.
Yeah, fine. I'll play my let the battles begin from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Jeez. You asked for this.
I think it's really funny that you brought up the Beatles earlier, because my friend is a notorious Beatles hater. He literally believes that Beatles are the worst group ever.
Wow.
And I think it'd be on that same like heated Smash Bros episode.
Wow.
We had him on, because him on a tangent on Beatles is the funniest. Even people that love Beatles will probably like crack up at his tangent.
I would love, because I'm definitely a person who's not one to like put other people's opinions down, like regardless of what I think. Like,
yeah,
exactly. Like
the
whole Rob thing. Like people, like I kind of get that. Yeah, Rob main suck,
right?
You know, but you know, I still like them. But
yeah,
if someone says, "Oh, I don't like the Mandalorian," like, "Oh, I like it."
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. It's just like, I'm sure you have your reasons too. It's only when people, I feel like, have like uneducated opinions that I'm like, I think you're wrong, and I think you don't know why you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so like whenever people say they don't like electronic music, it's like, well, have you listened to, and then I would provide all these ones, and it's like, well, no. It's like, well, then you're not listening to the real stuff, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're the same way.
Yeah, I would love to have him on. I really want to see what he has to say.
I'll have to talk to him maybe next time or something like that. But that'd be really
great.
Fun to look forward to.
I just want to talk to him.
Yeah, you also want to talk to my brother, who's a Jigglypuff man.
God, I really want to talk to your brother.
Yeah.
Oh, he seems so cool.
He was on he showed me one day. He's like, look what I did. And like on Wikipedia, he is on like one of it was some Wikipedia page where it listed off all the Jigglypuff mains, and he was like in the top 25 or something, like worldwide or whatever.
That is incredible.
And
it's for Ultimate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Melee.
He takes baths. He doesn't play Melee.
Yeah, Melee is just.
That was a really bad joke. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, kind of. Well,
it's.
You're not wrong.
To be fair, they've got it rough right now.
Yeah, they got
that one convention, or they got that one thing canceled by Nintendo themselves.
Yeah, that's. I agree. I don't hate Melee like as a subject. Just like it is my least favorite Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Just because it's so like competitive and fast. It's like. You know, Brawl was pretty bad, but I liked it. And Smash 64 is just its own thing.
Yeah. So actually, a really funny thing that I learned from a MatPat video recently.
Oh yeah.
Is you know how Nintendo like they shut down that whole Melee thing they're trying to get up and running because no one can be in Melee tournaments because it's not online.
Yeah.
They shut that down, and everyone's all angry at them for that. But on the opposite side, the guy who runs Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah? Steve Cawthon?
Yes, Scott Cawthon.
Scott Cawthon, yeah.
Yeah. He's actually partnering with people that make fan-made games.
Right.
And he is going to actually be funding their fan-made games, but he's not like interfering with them. He's like, I'm going to give you money to keep making games from my property.
Oh,
it's the opposite of what Nintendo's doing. I think it's the most wholesome thing
that
ever.
Is
I'm like,
so nice.
Because it'd be one
that.
thing if because Microsoft tried to do that same thing. They try to let's just take over all these other companies. It's like, well, that's a literal monopoly there. You can't do that. And of course they end up just eliminating the competition. Here it is literally no, you're going off my property anyways. Here's money to keep doing what you love.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are just he's the best developer.
Yeah.
Between him and Concerned Ape, the guy who makes Stardew Valley, I'm convinced.
Yeah. Like as much say what you want about Five Nights at Freddy's,
Just end it there.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to continue that.
I think that's a good point to end on.
Yeah, we're out of time anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good. Thank you for your knowledge of ELO. I'll have to listen to some ELO.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Hopefully I can send you some Daft-related stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely send you some
yes,
ELO.
Please do. And, thank you so much for everyone for listening in for another successful episode of this.
Forgot the name.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's my voice crack.
It was funny. And be sure to tune in to more Arrow podcasts other than this one. Thank you so much for listening. I already said that. And adios.
Are you a fan of audio dramas? Or are you trying to get your feet wet in the subject of audio dramas? Well, we may be busy or we may be on a commute. Whatever the case is, our ears are always itching for a good story. And writers, actors, and producers all across the internet are there to give us those stories. The Playback reviews audio dramas and fiction podcasts to give you the cream of the crop and to give you what's new in the audio drama sphere. Listen to The Playback from the Arrow Podcast Network, recorded by the crew of Red Hawk Radio Theater.